Under the Scope.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Under the Scope. I told you the reviews were going to be coming fast and furious. Not literally fast and furious, but a lot of reviews. Back again as Earl, I'm Jared. We just got out of a screening of what?
Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation.
Not Rogue Squadron, Rogue Nation.
AKA Part 5.
This is Part 5. Part 5 of the Mission Impossible series. This time brought to you by director
Christopher McQuarrie.
Writer as well, I think.
Yeah, he wrote.
At least he had a story credit on this. So.
Yeah, he did the story credit. He got a lot of stuff Hollywood-wise, but he's not important right now.
Exactly. He's done more producing than directing, but the most important thing is that we saw this movie. This movie stars who? Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
You heard of this Tom Cruise guy?
Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg.
Ving Rhames. And his hat collection.
Exactly.
I've forgotten the lady's name.
Rebecca Ferguson.
Hawkeye.
Jeremy Renner.
Hawkeye. Alec Baldwin. And
a host of other people.
Sean Harris.
Sean Harris is the bad guy. So what's the story about? Can you tell us?
Man.
Usually I do this, but I'm going to let you do it this time.
Whenever I'm here, you always make
We don't want to give away too much, because we're ahead of the release.
Where do you begin to tell basically, the Tom Cruise, as
he goes fishing and he catches a plane. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. That was that other movie. Basically, he claims that there's this all-mysterious force called the Syndicate. Mm-hmm. Nobody buys it. They think he's created. I think he's been out in the field too long.
It's this criminal underground organization that is really responsible for a lot of the accidents around the world.
If you will, an anti-Mission Impossible type squad.
Anti-IMF?
Yep.
Say it ain't so.
Maybe
a rogue nation operating
but the
behind the scenes?
Alec Baldwin, head of the CIA, says, yeah, we're dissolving the MIF.
IMF, yes.
And then Jeremy Hawkeye's like, dude, you can't do it. And Ethan Hunt's like, screw you guys, I'm doing it on my own. And of course, everybody's after him.
Pretty much. But
yeah.
As we know, I'm sure, given that this film is called Rogue Nation, chances are the Syndicate thing is real. And it's led by this guy named Solomon Lane, played by Sean what?
Sean Harris.
Sean Harris.
And I will say, to get going into this, I gotta say, out of all the Mission Impossible films, I gotta say Sean Harris probably played the best damn villain of any of the movies.
He definitely has a creepy affectation, sort of a real, like, hushed whisper speak, sort of, and just... He's... I don't even know how to explain it. He's not, like, physically imposing, but he is sort of tall, and he kind of looms over a little bit. And he really asserts himself in a very quiet way.
Oh, yeah, he just looks at you, and you're like, okay, you're going to kill me.
Right.
Yeah, you just don't mess with it. But, I mean, he's head of the anti-Mission Impossible.
Right, this Rogue Nation.
That makes the
Syndicate, made up of agents who have been presumed to be dead.
Right, missing in action.
But how are they dead? We don't know.
I can't tell that away.
Anyway, we don't want to get into too many details.
But there's this wonderful British agent, Ilsa Faust, and I'm not going to tell you, but man, you cannot, she switches sides more than Cary Grant and Charade.
It's very unclear where her allegiance lies.
Yeah, and
is she with the Syndicate? Is she with her handlers? Is she with Ethan Hunt and the IMF? Is she doing her own thing? We don't know. I mean, we probably find out by the end. We probably find out by the end. But it's held pretty close to the vest throughout the entire film.
Yeah, she's one of those characters where it's like in one scene she'll save you, and the next scene she'll try to kill you, then she'll try to save you. And then there's always some excuse, and you're like, do I buy that excuse?
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of intrigue, and there's a lot of misdirection. This is a spy film, so you're going to get that kind of stuff.
Well, I got to say, going back to the first Mission Impossible, which was...
Talking about the fifth one, man!
I'm getting there, but I got to tie it in, because
all right,
the first Mission Impossible was directed by Master of Suspense Brian De Palma. Yes. But when you read behind the story, Tom Cruise didn't quite understand De Palma.
The second one was directed by Master of Slow-Motion Doves, John Woo.
But nobody likes that film. And he went back to Hong Kong after that. I miss you, John Woo. Anyways, I think, over the years, Tom Cruise has appreciated it, because there were so many De Palma nods in this film. Yeah. Like the whole orchestra scene, that was like one mystery box short of a De Palma scene. The film, I think, the other thing is it's a love letter to old spy films, because they had every type of spy trope, like going to Morocco, the Opera House, all that, but it was done incredible. They put a fresh spin on it, I think.
This is my favorite Mission Impossible film.
I would say that. It's slowly pushing The Amazing Part 4 off to the side. My head's fighting it.
Ghost Protocol was good too.
Oh,
this is better than Ghost Protocol.
Yeah,
hard to. I mean, Brad Bird directed Ghost Protocol.
And
the guy's great.
Good, but this one just had much more.
Well,
suspense.
Brad Bird also directed Tomorrowland, which wasn't that great.
I don't want to talk about that ever again.
All right. Did you see it?
Yes.
Okay.
Why do you have to remind me that I saw it?
Yeah, I didn't think you would like that one.
I was just like, really? This is what I got after all the trailers? I was waiting for Jetpack. Instead, I get whiny crap.
Exactly. We're talking about not Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation.
Rogue Nation.
I thought this was just an excellently done Mission Impossible film. I thought it was an excellently done spy film in general. It was a great action movie. It had suspense. It had, great acting, wonderful stunt scenes. I have a couple of small problems with this one. Depending on who you are, this could actually be considered a big problem. Number one, other than our supporting role, the female lead, there aren't a lot of women in this movie. There is the basically non-speaking role of the polygraph tester. There's a couple of other background people, but there are no significant roles.
The light lady stole her scene.
What?
Yeah, so you don't even remember her.
Yeah. I just don't think there aren't any significant roles in this film other than Ilsa Faust, she's great, but she can't represent all of women. I mean, we need to get more representation. It's
I think
silly that we're still talking about this in 2015.
Well, here's the thing: you can't just wipe out the cast and say, "Oh yeah, here's the."
I know, but you could figure out a way. I mean, why couldn't the Syndicate have some more female members? Or should it just have to be one?
Well, because it would make it obvious what side she was working for, because you knew she'd have to fight her at the end. Instead, she takes out the biggest and meanest guy in the whole movie. She does,
and you don't have to have the woman fight the other woman.
No, but that's what I was.
You can do something more intelligent.
That's what I thought was awesome.
I know she did. No, don't get me wrong. The role of Ilsa Faust was fantastic,
and she's not.
She held her own. She was Ethan Hunt's equal. Yeah. And guess what? I'm gonna spoil it. They don't actually hook up at the end, so that's a great touch there.
Because they're gonna come back for 6. You got to come back for 6.
I would love her to come back as part of the IMF proper. That would be
incredible
great.
Character. She was an incredible character.
So.
I mean,
anyway,
you're trying to support, all the people from the past films and all that. You can only balance so much. If it was a first
I think
film,
Ving Rhames feels like he doesn't want to be there anymore. I mean, even the character's like, I'm retired, I've quit.
Yeah.
I'm only here because Ethan's my friend.
I think in real life, Ving Rhames had some kind of health problem because he's not trudging.
Yeah, so I got a feeling if they do another one, maybe he's not around. But
maybe he gets killed. I'm just constantly amazed at how the films are getting better. They are getting better. The first one came out great. And then 2 and 3 were like, and then all of a sudden 4 and 5 have just skyrocketed.
I like 3, but I like J.J. Abrams too. So.
Yeah, 3 wasn't bad.
My other problem with this film is I felt like the scene in the water tank scene was way too digital looking.
I agree with
There's so many other things in this film that are just, that Tom Cruise was literally on that plane when it took off.
Right.
In the opening scene.
Yeah.
He was on that plane.
He was hanging on. He was begging for the door to open.
They do so many stunts for real and practically that scene just sticks out like a sore thumb. No matter how cool it is. I thought the whole setup to it was cool, but once he jumps into that tank, it feels so digital and fake compared to everything else in the movie.
Some kind of new effect, because, it looked, I don't know how to explain it.
It just felt like he was in a tank of water that was surrounded by green screen and everything else around him was fake.
It seemed like he was in a tank of more like ooze.
Whatever the way his physics. My point is it didn't feel like he was in an authentic space, and I'm sure there were parts of it that were real because he had to interact with them, but it felt like a video game more than everything else in the film. So I gotta dock it a little bit for that. I think it's a cool scene. It's still fun to watch, but I think that I wish there was a better way to do it, but. I don't know how you'd I don't know how you drown your lead actor and yeah.
But like I said, it makes up for the 10 other Dynamite real life. The motorcycle chase was like
there's chase scenes, there's fight scenes, there's a lot of great action in this movie.
It doesn't take away. It still keeps the plot moving.
Yes.
They follow the Raiders story where it's just like keep the story moving. It just happens, this guy showed up with a gun and we got to make it more complicated than it needed to be.
And there are some spycraft tropes in here. You've got magical technology that can kind of do whatever it needs to do.
I enjoy the program laptop.
Oh yeah, with like that, like the e-ink display.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got fantastic technology, that's way beyond anything that actually exists, or maybe it doesn't. We don't know.
Well, that's why it's impossible.
And some of the staging of some of the scenes were a little bit like, really, that wouldn't really happen that way. But you know what? It's too much fun to really get bogged down in those kind of details.
Oh yeah, when they whip out the clarinet gun.
Yeah. That's great.
Clarinet gun.
That's great.
Oh, that's what I want to see.
I was talking about more like when he was pounding on the panel and like lighting faders would go up and think. I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to overlook it because the scene otherwise is really good.
Yeah, because if they were just walking at each other, it would be like, oh, that's it.
So.
Because they did such a build up to that.
They did.
I'm going to go with you. I think this is my favorite Mission Impossible film.
If you can't tell, we like this film an awful lot, and the reviews have been outstanding. When I walk into the theater, I think I checked Rotten Tomatoes, it was at 97%. So put another fresh, probably. I don't know. We haven't given it a score yet, but most likely you're probably going to get a fresh score out of this one.
Now here's the thing: when people find out Adam Sandler has a cameo, they'll just unbiasedly hate the film.
We've got to trash it.
I'm sorry. I'm kidding.
All right. Well, we've talked enough positively, glowingly about this film.
Now give it a low score.
No. Let's give this thing a score.
The Scope score is 3.5 stars.
So 3.5 stars. Great score. This might actually be my second favorite film of the summer.
It might be mine too.
Fury Road.
I got to sleep on this one.
We give Fury Road 4 stars. I don't think anything's going to top it this year, especially now that we're going into August. What a way to close out July. I really hope this thing does well at the box office.
It does.
How do you think it's going to do?
I think it could do gangbusters. I think
gangbusters.
I haven't said that in a while. I think once word of mouth gets out, I don't know if it's.
I think it'll do well. I think it probably 60-70 million. That's my guess.
I don't think it's going to surpass the Marvel films. Although
I think it'll do better than Ant-Man.
Ant-Man, didn't it just break some records? I thought I read something today about it.
I mean, it's number 1 again, but it was at only like 25 million, so.
Which is
fine.
Yeah.
I mean, Ant-Man's a low-budget Marvel film, but we're not here to talk about Ant-Man. We're talking about Mission Impossible. Films at the end of July don't always do that well. I mean, we've had some real clunkers that came out at the end of July. You had like Hercules that came out. You had Cowboys vs. Aliens that came out at the end of July.
Okay.
There's a lot of films over the past years that have come out at the end of July that haven't really done well, or they've just been bad films. I'm happy to see that we're closing out July in blockbuster fashion.
Yeah,
hopefully.
July has been a good month for films.
It has.
I have not.
Well, yeah. Yeah, no, it has been. I'm going to go with you on that.
You know what? I've been going to the theater and I saw 3 movies in 1 week, and I'm like, God damn, I'm having a blast.
Right on.
Right on.
Anyway, this movie's in theaters Friday, July 31st. This review will probably be out on a Wednesday, the Wednesday before. That day, Vacation is in theaters. We also did a review of that. You can check that out. And if you just want to interact with us, you can always like, comment, or subscribe right down below. And if you're listening at home, thank you. And if you're listening on a run, good for you. Good for you for getting out there and, working out, burning those calories.
Cardio.
I wish I was more like you. Anyway, thanks for watching or listening. That's Earl. I'm Jared. Bye for now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves once again at the end. I hope you've enjoyed our time together. I know I have. Fear not, Scope faithful. The days shall pass as if they were but a moment. And Jared, Adam, and Shane will return with another thrilling episode. Until then, send your comments to comments@thescopeshow.com or leave a voicemail message by dialing
612-21-SCOPE. That's 612-217-2673.
Thanks for listening, faithful fans. This is Tony Partington saying arrivederci. Tune in next time to another terrific edition of The Scope.